You walked into the halls of the main lobby. Whether you were a freshman like Elena Madero walking through the gauntlet of link leaders or a senior like Cassidy Sanchez whose first class didn't start till 10 o'clock, you were experiencing something new. Life at the high school had changed due to the split schedule. With classes taking place at different times, you couldn't be there for everything, and even with the things you did see, there's so much more you don't know. You may have seen Channel 9 News and Telemundo filming in North Bulldog Avenue, but do you know why? You may have read online or in tweets all the reasons we were in a lockdown situation in September, but do you know what actually happened? That's what we thought. You don't know the half of it. You experienced Tarzan. You watched performers like Devin Green flying on silk. You saw the stage transformed into an African jungle. You witnessed the acrobatic choreographic styles directed by Lindsay Solano, but you don't know the half of it. You didn't see students like Evan Jensen prepare for his audition while studying for finals in May. You didn't see the countless summer days and nights spent on stage running lines, building sets, and blocking of choreography. You didn't see the manipulation of class schedules that occurred so students could be done by 10th period so they could practice at 3:30. You didn't know that the director and underclassmen put in 12-hour days going to school at 6:45 a.m. and leaving at 7 p.m. And you definitely didn't see the trampolines hidden within the set for actors to jump from tree to tree. You experienced Tarzan, and now you know the whole story. You lived what they called the split schedule. You saw the school go from a 7-period day to a 10-period day. You watched as underclassmen entered the main lobby at 6:45 a.m. while the upperclassmen filed in 3 hours later. You saw how students ate their sack lunches in classes, except for the few and far between block days when students packed in the back of a friend's car to Chick-fil-A. You saw how on any given day the parking lot was full of Nissans and Chevys well into the evening as sports practices and club meetings continued until 7 p.m. But really, you don't know the half of it. Change isn't always easy, and at times it was really difficult. But you have to admit, sometimes change is good. Without the new schedule, you may not have had the opportunity to accompany Mayor Dick McClain during a citywide Denver Broncos Super Bowl rally. You would not have had the chance to run with the whole school on the football field while playing sharks and minnows during the class games. The school and town were more intentional in finding ways to bring you and your peers together. You may have been split. You may have had a different high school experience than others. You may have seen changes, some good and some bad, and at the time you only knew the half of it. Now you know the whole story. You may have come into the year thinking everything was going to change. You weren't wrong. This year was different. You may have walked by the track and saw a bunch of kids on bikes. Those bikes were donated by Adaptive Adventures for our adaptive PE students. You may have witnessed members of FFA riding on fake horses or doing the chicken dance. They were doing this to celebrate National FFA Week. Look at what we did. Was it all that bad? You were there, your peers were there, and together we made up the whole. We may have all been on different schedules, but we found a way to make this work. Nothing could stop us from storming the court as our boys basketball team defeated Prairie View not once, but twice. The town still shut down to cheer us on as we paraded through the streets from Bridge to Jessup, culminating that night at the football stadium for the big game against Denver East during homecoming week. We all stood together at rallies and school board meetings to express the need to pass Bond 3C. The split schedule changed a lot of things, but we didn't let it change us or the traditions we've come to know and love. The tradition never died. We kept it alive, all together. There were lots of things that should have kept us split. For some athletes, it was deciding where they were going to play at the collegiate level, like Gavin Gifford, who signed to Dodge City Junior College to play baseball. As students began to feel disconnected from one another due to their schedules, student government leader Sierra Morrison headed a committee to organize a school-wide boys volleyball tournament with the winning team facing a team representing Prairie View. When administration was split on how to keep assemblies as part of our tradition, staff members like Lindsay Solano brainstormed a schedule and found ways to make them even more interactive for students. We may have felt split. By a schedule, by decisions, by circumstance. But we weren't broken. We pulled together and made it work. Coming into the year, you may have thought that the split schedule would tear us apart. It may have been hard, it may have been different, but at this school, tradition never dies. You still ran out onto the field to celebrate with the football team when they took back the Superintendent's Cup. You still walked with your friends to the dirt lot at dusk to take part in the homecoming bonfire. You still joined hands with your peers to form a tunnel for the unified basketball team to run through after a victory. You may have seen changes, some good and some bad, but you only knew the half of it. When you stepped back and looked at the big picture, the whole story became clear. Now you know the whole story.